This is Coaching 101, a space for growth, accountability, and transformation where insight meets action and people learn to move forward with purpose. People move forward, not backward. Forward, 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 and let it go. And of course, my legendary co host, Miss Jackie. How are you,
Yes. Thank you,
partner?
Daniel. Doing great. Yes. I can't believe at the time of this recording, it's already the middle of January. I'm like, wow, we're
Wow.
past that now. Where's the time
So
going?
fast. So
I
fast.
know.
So fast. Last 2 weeks ago, we're celebrating Christmas. We're celebrating New Year. Now it's celebrating the first month of the year. So
Yes.
fast. So fast. So fast. And Miss Jackie, another great episode. And what will be our topic on Coaching 101?
It looks like what we selected is the coach client relationship, trust, boundaries, and ethics.
Trust, boundaries, and ethics. Wow, that'd be awesome. So, tell us boundaries, ethics, and many things. What is it all
Right.
about?
Yeah, I think one thing is to kind of look to what's the North Star, right? What do we think about? So here we can explain how trust is built and protected through those boundaries and ethical practices. So it all works hand in hand with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes. People, the coach client relationship, those three ingredients, let's say ingredients, trust, boundaries, and ethics, are the foundation of effective, responsible coaching. Whether it's a coaching or executive coaching or wellness or performing or performance coaching, this relationship must be intentionally structured to protect the client, the coach, and the integrity of the process.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so important because trust is where I think it works both ways. So it's not just about the client trusting the coach, but it's about the coach trusting the client as well. So, it's about reliability. Do they show up on time, right? Does the client show
Mm.
up on time? Does the coach show up on time? And I think it's also about care. So it's about not only the coach taking care of the client, but it's also about the coach taking care of themselves too, and self-care. And then, of course, that's where the boundaries come in. Clear agreement about those roles and the time, scope, and all of that. And just making sure that those boundaries are clear. And then the ethics as well. And what protects the client's dignity, their autonomy, and their well being. So I think it all shapes that strong client coach relationship.
Indeed. So let's talk about the trust, the cornerstone of coaching. Trust enables openness, honesty, and growth. Clients must feel psychologically safe to share goals, fears, failures, and aspiration without fear of judgment and misuse of information.
Right.
And I think those trusts have a certain ingredients too. Like confidentiality is essential. Like consistency is a reliability built with confidence. And of course, the non-judgment and respect for your clients.
Absolutely. That's so important. Yeah, because if you don't have that trust, it's hard to get the client to open up in the ways that you need them to be able to make that relationship the best it can be, right? And to ensure that you're able to help as the coach to move the client forward in their goals or whatever you're setting with them to be able to do that. So without trust, you're not going to get very far with them.
Hmm. Yes, definitely. Confidentiality, people, is essential with the client share stage with the coaching relationship, except where disclosure is legally or ethically required. Consistency is coaches must follow through one commitment and maintain professionalism at all times. And of course, the non judgment is where clients to explore challenges without defensiveness. Without trust, coaching becomes superficial and reflective, or ineffective, I should say. So,
Mm.
Miss Karen, how about the boundaries? Why we need boundaries between coach and the clients?
Oh, that's so important, and I think that that also works really well in like counseling and other fields as well. So coaching is also important because you don't want to cross boundaries where you run into an opportunity or a situation where you have a dual relationship where you have a friend or a client or a boss and you're doing both, right? So you don't, so if you find yourself where you have a friend and they know you're a coach and like, hey, I want you to be my coach and do, that might be a time to say, well, that's getting into the dual relationship, and I think I need to refer you to someone else where we don't, right, they don't know you as a personal friend or as
Mm-hmm.
a boss or something like that, because then that can really get sticky, and I think the ethics part can start to spill over into that. So I think to protect the client and the coach, I think that's when it should be a referral out so that they don't cross boundaries with that.
Yes, definitely. Boundaries is protecting both the coach and client. As Miss Jackie talking about, clear boundaries define the coaching is and what is not. They prevent confusion, dependency, and harm. They talk about, well, of course, role clarity. Coaches are not a therapist, doctors, lawyers, or financial advisors, unless separately qualified and contracted. So your coach can be a therapist, a doctors, a lawyers. It can might be right, Miss Jackie.
Right.
What do you think? Right? It can be.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Mm, yes. And of course, emotional boundaries. Coaches support growth without becoming emotionally entangled or fostering reliance. And of course, time and communication limits. Sessions length, frequency, and availability outside session must be clearly agreed upon. Plus, the dual relationship. Coaches avoid You should avoid relationships that create conflicts and interests. Coaching close friends, employees without transparency, or clients whom there is romantic or financial relationship. So, Miss Jackie, you set already the boundaries, right? To the clients. How
Right.
about if your client doesn't like boundaries? What you gonna do? You will dismiss the
Mm.
clients?
Yeah, I think one thing that coaches should do is they should set their boundaries on day one. So they should make it clear before coaching even begins. They should say what's the boundaries that should exist from day one. And then also, I think what they should have is a policy about messaging between sessions, because I think if they don't have that and they don't say, well, it's not that, I don't want to, have you follow me on LinkedIn or on Facebook, but it's just that that crosses into something I don't want to do, and then it becomes personal, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
those communications go outside of the coaching session. So I think those are two things that they can do. And so I think that will help, because then if they do that from the very beginning, then you don't have a client that is going to say, oh, I have this secret and I want you to keep it safe between you and I. And you know that you actually need to report that. It's a mandated reporting type of situation. So I think you can keep yourself out of those types of situations if you make it clear from day one what your boundaries are and what your policy is about messaging between sessions, and what is and is not acceptable with that.
Yes, not acceptable for sure. So, Miss Jackie, let's talk about the, well, ethics. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
What do
Yes.
you think? What is the ethics all about between the client and the coach?
Yes, I think that's so important. So, we talked about, protecting the client's dignity, their well-being, but I think it's also about the coach too. So, so I think, some of those common pitfalls that I've seen before in coaching, and also that I've heard that have happened in the past from coaches that I know personally, because of the curriculum I work on at the university, is that a lot of times those common pitfalls that can fall into ethics are like over disclosure by the coach, like they disclose too much, right? And then they cross into those boundaries, and then that can be ethical. And then yeah, so that can be one of those things I think that's really tough. And then making promises and saying I'm going to give you these results, and that can run into ethical issues too, because you can't I don't think you can promise anybody anything as well.
Definitely.
Yes. So
De-
yeah, so I think ethics is so important, and making sure that they know what the ethical situations are and ethical codes and all of that, and just stick to them. Yeah.
yes, stick to those ethics because you are professional if you will stick to those ethics and acting with the integrity and responsibility. Ethical coaching is guided by honesty, competence, and I think a client centered practice. So, a key ethical principles include, I think, every attitude, there is ingredients for that. Just like in ethics, there's ingredients to be unethical. Just like inform the consent. Clients must understand the coaching process goals, limitation, and of course the fees. Right?
Right.
You need to inform the consent. Being ethical, you need to tell to your clients that these are your limitations, these are your fees, this is your coaching process, which is a part of being ethical.
Right.
Of course, competence. Being ethical, you need to be competent. Coaches should only offer service within their training and experience and refer clients when issues fall outside coaching scopes. Outside from your expertise, I think that's unethical.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm
Mm.
glad you brought that up, Daniel, with informed
Hmm.
consent, because that's something that they learn when they're going through training and going through school, is informed consent, and also going outside their scope of practice as well. Yeah. Those
Yes.
two things are very important to ethics. So absolutely. Anytime you're working with clients. Yes.
Yes. And the client autonomy. Coaches do not impose values or decisions. They support clients in making their own informed choices.
Right.
Yes, it's unethical. They said, no, you will not do that. Do this instead.
Exactly. Right. So, yeah, an example of that is if we're Christians, we have a Christian worldview. We can't
Mm-hmm.
impose that Christian worldview on another client. So, say they're atheists, we can't be
Yes.
like, "Oh, you need to do this and you need to do that." That's unethical, because we're
Mm.
imposing our values and our principles onto someone else. Yeah, it's tough, and I don't know if I could ever be a coach or a counselor or anything, because I'm like, oh, that would be hard if I saw someone doing something,
Do
yeah,
this.
it's yeah, exactly. That would be hard for me. And the thing is that a coach can't, just because of that, they can't refer out, because they have a different belief from their their actual clients. So they have to work within those boundaries of their practice. So yeah, so that's a tough one. So I would encourage everyone
Mhm.
that's a coach to take that to heart, and don't think that you can just refer them out. I learned that when I was working on some curriculum. I was like, ooh, that's a good eye opener. I think for everyone that's a coach. Yes.
Yes. And the last, being ethical, is transparency. Any
Hmm.
conflicts or interests or credentials or limitation must be disclosed on front. Mm. You're being
Yes.
unethical if you're Well, transparency is a key to a deeper relationship with your coach or clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so
Mhm.
important. So if something comes up and you know that it's going to be a conflict, then you need to be, you're right. You need to be transparent about it and say this is the situation. And yeah, and so then you give the client the opportunity to say, do I want to continue having you be my coach, or should you refer me out to someone else? So that's important to not just think about the the money you're bringing in, right? But to really think about the ethical practice that you're providing to your clients.
Mhm. Definitely. So ethics safeguard the client's well-being and preserve trust in coaching profession in a whole. So ethics is number one ingredients, people, to be a good coach. Mm. So, Miss
Yes.
Karen, why this relationship matters?
I think it's so important because with the client, they're coming to a coach for a reason, right? Because they
Yes.
need uh they need help in some way, whether it's like you said, it's executive coaching within an organization and they're providing that, or it's coaching for goal setting or something like that, or career coaching. So whatever the case is, there's a reason that they're coming to you as a coach. So I think it's so important to know that you don't want them to be dependent upon you in the ways that aren't good, but at the same time, there's a reason that they're coming to you as a coach. So recognizing that and knowing that, I think, is so important as a coach.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Relationship is important, people, because you need to build strong boundaries, clear and ethics are upheld. That makes the relationship matters. Clients experience sustainable growth and self-discipline and leadership for sure. Coaches maintain credibility and professionalism. And of course, the coaching process remains focused, safe, and effective. That makes the relationship matters. Conversely, blurred boundaries or ethical lapses can cause emotional harm, dependency, and loss of trust. And for sure, you will not be effective coach if you will not uphold all these, well, trust, boundaries, and ethics. So, Miss Jackie,
Yes.
to summarize all this, boundaries, ethics, trust, what is all about?
Yeah, so I think it's important to know that all of this, we're not putting up walls, right, around the boundaries and the ethics. It's not to put up walls between us and the client, or as a coach and a client, but it's what makes trust possible. So like you said, the foundation is the trust, right? So I think that's so important, is to know that it's not to put up walls, but it's to make that trust possible. And with that trust, then we have the proper boundaries, and then we have the ethics. So they all go hand in hand.
Yes. The coach client relationship succeeds when it's grounded trust, protected by clear boundaries, and guided by strong ethical standards. Trust allows honest dialogue and meaningful progress. Boundaries ensure professionalism and safety, and ethics keep the client's well being and center in every interaction. Together, these three elements create respectful partnership where clients are empowered to grow, make their own decisions, and achieve lasting change. With coaches maintain integrity, credibility, and responsibility in their practice. What a great topic. Miss Jackie.
Yes.
Yes, and people, please do listen to our full podcast with Miss Jackie. Would you like to plug in, Miss Jackie, our full podcast?
Sure. So we have this one, Coaching 101. We have Bible Verses 101, which we do on Fridays as well, or Saturdays. I'm sorry, this is Saturday.
Yes,
Whoops.
Saturday. Yes.
Yes. And then on Fridays, we do AI 101 and Tech 101. Yes.
You know what, people? We did already our first episode on AI 101, and we talk about Siri. Is it Siri?
Yes, we did.
Siri, yeah. We talk about the floppy disk. We talk about DOS prompt. We talk about Bill Gates, Netscapes. Wow. Please do listen to it. Our first episode. AI 101 will be published, well, first week of March. Hoping for that. And of course, Tech 101, we talk about what, Miss Jackie? What we talk about on Tech 101? I think fiber.
So we talk about tech through the ages, from fire to fiber, and then we'll just keep moving through that and looking at that in different aspects, and then how it's impacting us today. So I think it's great.
It's evolving. Yes, people, please do listen our future episodes on AI 101, Tech 101, and of course, Coaching 101, Bible Verses 101 with Miss Jackie Pellegrin. Would you like to plug in your other podcast, Miss Jackie?
Sure. So I have one called Designing with Love, and it's for educators and inspiring instructional designers or those that are new to the field. So feel free to look that up wherever you listen to podcasts, like you do with these as well. So I'd be happy to have more listeners, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Jackie Pellegrin, because if you support her, for sure, more and more podcasts to come. Who knows, we have one more podcast to come. And of course, more and more empowering episodes will come. So, Miss Jackie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And until next time, keep coaching.
Modicon people, see you soon.